So, dear participants in the breakout session on addiction prevention, I'm really sorry that I cannot be with you today. Unfortunately, we have an event at the EMCD at the same time. We celebrate, as you also are sitting here together today, we celebrate the 26th of June, the International Drugs Day, and we do this for many years already at our headquarters together with the diplomatic community in Lisbon and with our partners in the Portuguese authorities.
Thank you, Mr. Blurs. As you are the director of the European Monitoring Center for Drugs and Drug Addiction, what will be your main message on the World Day Against Drugs and Drug Addiction?
I think the main message is we have to continue. We have to continue our work, and I think in the end we are quite successful. Not everybody agrees with that, but I think we are quite successful. If you see our recent European Drugs Report that we just published, we have a few important messages there. I think the first one is the traditional plant-based substances that we know, heroin, cocaine and cannabis in particular, there for many years now the consumption is stable and is going partly down. I think this is a very good message, and we have success here, and this is the success of the different demand reduction measures, prevention, treatment, harm reduction measures, but it's also the success of the law enforcement efforts, the targeted law enforcement actions that help. But having said this, there's also the other side of the coin, and the other side of the coin says particularly the markets and the consumption in stimulants or of stimulants is going into many directions. It's becoming more dynamic, it's becoming more challenging. We see, for example, an increasing appearance of methamphetamine in Europe, which is a very, very dangerous substance and can spread quite quickly. We see that the typical consumption patterns is now polydrug use. Young people mix all kinds of substances, powders and pills, and in the end they do not really know which kind of cocktails they take.
Most stimulants, yeah?
This is mainly the stimulants area, and also the so-called new psychoactive substances. A big part of this are the so-called legal highs. I think there we really have to see that this is an area that is very much of our concern. We had last year 73 substances notified for the first time to the early warning system that we are running together with Europol, and we have currently 280 substances on our radar, and this is really a development that we are really concerned about, and we really have to follow this very closely.
Okay. Has it sense that we invest more and more in prevention? That's what we aim to do with our Rotarian Action Group, addiction prevention, but has this sense? Is that not a drop in the ocean if you look at all the money that mafiosi can invest in selling the drugs and spreading it?
You know, it is true that drug traffickers, they seem to have endless money, and I'm sure many national police forces do not have a comparable amount of resources, and also for prevention or treatment or other actions, the resources will never be enough. But I think if we would give up, I think they would have won, and this is not what none of us wants to have this. I think we have enough experience and evidence that demand reduction measures, and in particular also prevention, that helps and has an impact. And I think if you see your organization as Rotary with 1.2 million, I was told, members all over the world, with personalities that are per definition, I would say by definition, are multipliers. If you go on and you really promote prevention more and more, I think this clearly has an impact. And if you join forces, and I know that you join forces with national universities for the evidence, with Mentor Foundation, with the United Nations, UNODC, with us and others, I think all together we clearly have an impact and we can tackle the problem.
Oh, great. You talked about evidence. If we stimulate clubs to implement programs in the local community, in the local schools and so on, we must be sure that these programs are evidence-based, that there is result. Is there enough evaluation, is there enough research on evidence-based programs?
You know, if you see measures like treatment or harm reduction, there was a lot of discussion, contradiction, ideologies in the game over many, many years, let's say the last 10, 20, 30 years even. As they were, many of the measures were so much under attack, they were forced to prove and to provide the evidence. Prevention on the other side, nobody can have anything against the aim of prevention to say we prevent people from taking drugs. This is an aim everybody under science. So the pressure of providing evidence was not so strong as on the other side. I think very often projects were launched or programs were launched just because there was goodwill and there was money. But unfortunately this time is over now. Today we have, over the last few years, we see an enormous progress in evidence for certain prevention measures. I think the Americans were very much, the Americans were very much at the forefront. The United States invests several times more money in evaluating programs, projects, improving evidence. And so I think today we can see projects that are launched today are normally evidence-based projects, and you can see how they work, where they work, under which circumstances, in which cultural context they really function.
Okay, great. So that's why where Rotary can invest. If we developed with our District 1620, we developed a model for supporting clubs to implement concrete evidence-based drug prevention programs, as you have Unplugged. Unplugged was also supported by the European Communion. You have experience with the program. You follow the results of this program?
It's not just that we follow the results of the program. We participate in the initiation, in the development of the program, in the implementation, in the evaluation of the program. So we have a lot of experience with Unplugged, and this is a typical evidence-based project. This has shown that it works in different European contexts, in different European cultural domains, but it's now, I think, 10 or more than 10 years old, the project. In the meantime, it was more tested, it was more implemented, also beyond Europe, and there is proven effectiveness, it's effective, there's proven evidence that Unplugged works, and I think I can only congratulate the Mentor, not the Mentor Foundation, but Rotary, to choose such a project where the evidence is clearly there, and to promote it, to disseminate it, and we are happy about this, and if we can be of any help, we would be most happy to be involved.
Okay, so if we are implementing this in other cultures, in other languages, we could come to your office for help in evaluation, implementing, spreading it, and giving us advice on that level.
Absolutely, as long as we understand the language.
Yeah, that's a problem. In Rotary we have, of course, many languages, but we have also many contacts with academic institutes that can help us to transculturalize these programs and so on.
But we have here people from 20 nationalities at the EMCDDA, so already a certain number of languages we can cover.
Thank you. What would be your message to the people in our breakout session now, today?
Yeah, I think it's a bit like what I said in the beginning. We should not give up. Prevention works. Evidence-based prevention, I think, is really the key. And we have, by the way, just published last week on our website a study that shows American, US projects that were implemented in Europe, adapted and implemented in Europe. And I think there you can get inspired even by other projects, not just by Unplugged, which is an important one, but there are other ones. And as I said earlier, the American experience is really a key experience for us. I think the point is really never give up and work together. I think that's it.
We will do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.